As a government shutdown threatens to cut off food stamps for hundreds of thousands of Arizonans a week from today.
And those people have no other choice.
Why is the government raising all these prices? We can't even afford a place to live, even with all three of us paying the bill.
I am retired, so not that much money.
What happens when the doors that feed America finally lock? Not in theory, not in headlines, but in reality. Shelves chained, lights dimmed, and ordinary families staring through glass at the food they can no longer reach. Reports are already spreading stores preparing for shutdowns, shipments slowing, federal benefits on pause. 40 million Americans depend on assistance just to eat. And when that thread snaps, what's left? Desperation doesn't wait for permission, it takes. And behind every statistic is a face your neighbor, your child's teacher, the man who built your porch now standing in a checkout line that no longer opens. Experts warn that chaos could start with a single announcement, a single digital switch flipping access denied. The warning signs are here: rising food insecurity, mass corporate lockouts, and a system ready to decide who gets to eat and who waits. We've seen the shortages before, but never like this. Because this time, it's not just about empty shelves, it's about control, about who holds the key when essentials are finally locked up. This is the Downturn Report, where the truth gets personal. Tonight, we uncover the moment America's essentials slip out of reach and why no one saw it coming. Doors will slam shut. The calendar is bleeding toward November 1st, and what's coming isn't just another inventory reset.
You still do rely on SNAP.
Oh man, yes. I don't know what we're gonna do without it if it really happens.
Walmart has quietly confirmed that starting that day, every one of its stores across the country will restrict entry to employees. Only no more walking down the aisles, no more comparing bread prices or checking expiration dates yourself. Shoppers will be forced into online orders or curbside pickups, a cold transaction that cuts off the last personal link millions of Americans still have to their own food. The company calls it a temporary restructuring, but insiders say it's a preemptive lockdown to brace for what corporate staff call the SNAP chaos, a predicted surge of electronic benefit transfer issues once November's assistance adjustments kick in. The same whispers that leaked the policy say internal security memos have warned of escalating theft threats and public disorder scenarios. Across social media, videos from cashiers and warehouse staff already paint a grimmer picture. Some stores have begun testing steel security gates over entrances at night, locking up baby formula, detergent, and even rice behind plexiglass like they're gold bars. Employees report new policies where even staff ID scans are logged every 5 minutes. Big Brother in a blue vest. A manager in Arkansas admitted anonymously that corporate doesn't trust what's coming and wants stores secured like banks before the end of October. Shoppers online are furious and scared. One viral post claimed, "You think people are just gonna sit back hungry? They'll break those glass cases before they starve." But the panic isn't baseless. Economists tracking retail, Mobility note a steep decline in consumer access zones, with over 300 grocery deserts now overlapping Walmart's closure radius.
I need something to eat. The prices are way too high.
Food is not only about nutrition, it's about hope.
Low-income seniors relying on EBT cards or food stamps could face multi-day delays as online systems crash under demand. A leaked email chain from a logistics vendor even mentioned priority fulfillment tiers, meaning customers with premium memberships might get food faster while SNAP users wait. For millions, this isn't just inconvenience, it's a lockout from daily survival. And for a company that earned over $600 billion in annual revenue, the optics are brutal. America's biggest grocer putting a digital fence between itself and the hungry. Meanwhile, smaller regional stores are bracing for stampedes. Some have doubled their security staff, fearing what one clerk called a Black Friday without the sales. And in Chicago and Atlanta, police departments have quietly scheduled extra patrol shifts near major Walmart hubs in anticipation of consumer unrest. If this sounds dystopian, that's because it is food aisles turning into restricted zones, the right to choose between brands turning into a privilege for those with faster Wi-Fi. November 1st won't just close doors, it'll expose exactly how fragile America's idea of abundance really is. The chain is cracking. When corporations start whispering about protecting profit margins, it's time to brace for impact. Executives can't stand the idea of their quarterly charts dipping a single line, so they'll do what they always do, make everyone else pay the price. The plan? Jack up prices on everything from cereal to soap, trim worker hours, and quietly adjust staff numbers until entire shifts disappear. Shipments will shrink, aisles will thin out, and the supply trucks that once ran day and night will start collecting dust. When the demand drops, the wheels stop turning, truckers lose routes, distribution centers cut hours. The farmers, those forgotten links at the start of the chain, watch their harvests rot because there's nowhere to send them. Imagine thousands of pounds of milk, corn, and poultry sitting in cold storage like prisoners of a system built to serve profit, not people. This isn't just a slowdown. It's a domino line ready to collapse. And the numbers don't lie. Around 40 million Americans rely directly or indirectly on SNAP benefits. And when those benefits vanish, the ripple becomes a tidal wave. Even those without an EBT card will feel it when shelves empty faster than they can restock. This won't stop at the poor, one analyst wrote. It will infect the entire economy. He's right, because hunger spreads faster than any virus, and desperation is contagious. A father online said what everyone's thinking. I'll do whatever it takes to feed my 3 kids. He's not a criminal. He's a mirror, reflecting what millions are about to feel when policy meets reality. Starting November 1st, with SNAP funding locked in limbo and stores switching to prepaid pickup-only systems, the fuse is already burning. Kroger, CVS, Walgreens, Publix each has quietly adjusted internal systems to limit in-person transactions. For security, they say, though everyone knows it's fear-talking. Fear of the mobs, fear of the hungry, fear of the headlines when crowds rush locked glass doors that used to say, "Welcome." Online groups now circulate survival lists, urging followers to stock up before the chaos. That's not prepping anymore, that's realism. Experts warn of riots, but the truth is simpler. You can't quarantine hunger. You can't digitize desperation. When the most essential part of life, food, gets turned into a luxury app, society stops functioning. Every factory, truck, and farm in America depends on the next link in the chain staying steady. But that chain is groaning now, every link creaking under greed. When it breaks, it won't be silent. It'll echo through every empty pantry and every dark kitchen light still flickering at midnight. The question isn't whether the chain will snap, it's how many people it'll drag down when it does. Vote with your dollar. The frost hit early this year, and it's not just the weather turning cold, it's the country itself. Folks filming from their porches are watching their breath fog up while talking about something far more chilling. November 1st, the day Walmart supposedly goes dark to the public. Online prepper channels are buzzing like power lines in a storm, warning their followers that the aisles could be sealed and that some people are already planning to walk out with what they can't afford to buy. The tone isn't rumor anymore, it's resignation. People don't argue about whether it'll happen. They argue about how to survive when it does. One channel host, standing in front of his half-frozen garden in Riverside, put it plain. You'd better be stocked up because by November 1st, you won't want to step foot in a store. He's not wrong. Videos are piling up across the internet, shaky phone footage from stock clerks, shoppers, and even truckers saying deliveries are slowing down. Vote with your dollar, the man says, his voice cutting through the static of the wind. Stop feeding the same giants that are about to lock you out. It's the kind of line that hits harder than any political slogan because it's personal. People are tired of being told to shop local while their local stores die one by one. The irony bites deep. Walmart and Amazon built the convenience that trapped the country, and now they're the ones tightening the locks. And that so-called digital ID coming down the pipeline? It's no longer a theory, it's a blueprint for total control of what you buy, when you buy, and how much you're allowed to have. The host scrolls through his feed, showing clips of people bragging about grabbing what's theirs come November 1st. This is what happens, he says, when you corner a working man and take away his paycheck, his groceries, and his pride all in one breath. Behind him, rows of canned goods glint under a weak light. The message is simple: switch stores, switch habits, switch loyalties before the system switches you off. It's not about paranoia, It's about refusing to be the last one standing in line with a useless shopping app. This new kind of rebellion doesn't wave flags or march in streets. It fills pantries. It unplugs devices. It learns to fix what's broken instead of waiting for a replacement that might never come. The quiet shift spreading across America isn't loud yet, but you can feel it rumbling, like a train somewhere out of sight. November 1st might be the spark, but the fire's been building for years. Every purchase is now a protest, every dollar a declaration. And as the frost deepens and the locks click shut, one truth cuts through the cold. The real power has always been in the hands of those who still know how to choose where they spend it. Spend it or lose it. The warnings are multiplying like storm sirens before landfall. Across news feeds and message boards, videos claiming to be official Walmart updates spread faster than fact-checkers can chase them. The company's supposed message has the bluntness of a slap. Do your shopping before November 1st, because you won't be coming in here with that mess. Internal memos, some allegedly leaked by night shift staff, claim the decision is about avoiding civil disorder when food assistance dries up. One viral post put it even sharper. Not today, not tomorrow. Doors stay locked until January. Whether those lines were corporate policy or just panic-fueled imagination, they've already sunk deep into public fear. Oklahoma residents say the panic has proof behind it. On October 21st, thousands reported receiving an email from the state benefits office saying that SNAP funds would be discontinued unless the federal shutdown is resolved. The fine print at the bottom hit harder than a slap in the face. It's unclear whether any unused balance on EBT cards will still be accessible after November 1st. Translation: if you don't spend your food benefits by Halloween night, they might vanish into a bureaucratic black hole. Families are already crowding stores, spending whatever balance remains before it's too late. It's insane, one woman said online. They're basically telling us to clear the shelves before November 1st. And while officials scramble to clarify the gray area, corporate America is moving faster than Washington ever could. Videos show managers repeating the same instructions coast to coast. Lock the doors, secure the aisles, move to online only. The playbook reads like disaster prep, not retail strategy. On TikTok, one clip from a store employee in Missouri shows security. Teams installing temporary gates across checkout lanes for safety. On Facebook, users post screenshots of Walmart's own help chat allegedly confirming temporary closures for customer safety. No one can prove which posts are real, but in a panic economy, perception is the new truth. The chain reaction is brutal. With over 40 million Americans depending on SNAP and EBT, even a brief disruption means empty shelves, broken supply routes, and desperation. Truck drivers report sudden order cancellations. Warehouse workers in Ohio say shifts are being cut until inventory normalizes. Meanwhile, smaller grocery stores brace for chaos, knowing that every canceled Walmart visit means hundreds of new customers they can't supply. This isn't just rumor, it's the anatomy of collapse unfolding in real time. The clock keeps ticking toward November 1st, and whether or not those doors really lock, one thing is undeniable. Millions are already acting as if they will. In that kind of fear, truth becomes secondary. Survival doesn't wait for confirmation when panic goes viral. The clips are raw and relentless. Strangers on camera shouting that they will take what they need. Threats laced with weariness and fury. Footage shared like a contagious fever across platforms. These are not polished pundits. They are neighbors caught mid-rant, trembling with cold and rage, demanding that someone keep feeding their families. The language is crude, the tone urgent, and the message is simple: mouths must be filled and bills must be paid, and if formal systems fail, people will improvise. This moment is not merely about scarcity, it is about how a flood of humiliation and fear compresses into combustible rhetoric. When millions feel invisible to institutions, the amplifier of social media turns private desperation into public menace. Clips that might once have been dismissed as isolated incidents now read as signals. Crowds organizing by the hour, heated calls to take what you need, and conspiratorial claims that outsiders are to blame for personal hunger. The net effect is a growing recipe for unrest, with angry rhetoric acting as accelerant. Local officials are not idle. Police departments across multiple counties whisper about extra patrols, temporary checkpoints, and strategic deployments near high-traffic commerce corridors. Some civic leaders coordinate with state agencies on contingency plans that include non-lethal crowd management tools and escorted delivery lanes for essential shipments. Military phrasing seeps into municipal memos. The language has shifted from welfare to threat mitigation, and that change matters because words shape outcomes and priorities. Social feeds are cracked open by opportunists and entrepreneurs. Influencers hawk emergency kits, merchants inflate prices on basic goods, and content creators monetize fear with sponsorship links and paid tiers for insider prep lists. The panic economy is efficient. Clicks convert to cash, and fear becomes a retail vertical. At the same time, pundits stitch together worst-case scenarios and constitutional hot takes that make policy responses harder to navigate without inflaming public anger. Yet beneath the noise, a quieter countercurrent is forming. Neighborhood churches, mutual aid groups, and longtime volunteers are organizing grassroots logistics, food runs, neighborhood pantries, and volunteer delivery chains for folks who lack transport. These human networks act like stitches on a fabric that would otherwise tear. Small grocers and family markets are quietly reserving portions for locals, and in some places, unions coordinate emergency labor pools to keep supply racks moving. This collective stitching rarely trends online, but it is the practical glue holding communities together. The political consequences are immediate and dangerous. When fear dominates, hardline leaders find oxygen, and calls for aggressive policing or military-style interventions can escalate conflict. Conversely, transparent, humane policy fixes clear timelines for benefit access, emergency delivery prioritization, and temporary price controls can cool tensions quickly. The choice of narrative matters. Treat communities as threats, and you invite confrontation. Treat them as partners, and you build bridges. Practical steps matter more than social hysteria. Verify information with local agencies and trusted nonprofits. Stock intelligently. Prioritize shelf-stable protein, water, and medications, and rotate supplies to avoid waste. Coordinate with neighbors. Community coordination multiplies individual resilience. Support local relief groups with time or modest donations so their logistics can scale. And use political pressure call representatives. Demand clarity, insist on humane contingency plans. Panic is loud, but steady civic action is quieter and more potent. Viral rage will sell advertising, but it will not stock shelves or teach a neighbor to peaches. The next few days will test local infrastructure and social bonds. If we choose cooperation over contempt, the worst of the noise will recede, and the calm work of keeping pantries stocked will persist not as headline fodder, but as the practical backbone of community life. The faces behind the clips are human and tangled. Grandparents on fixed incomes choosing between medication and a meal, single parents stretching every can, retirees swapping ration tips like secret recipes at a church potluck. Americans will crack a wry joke about casseroles and bingo, but levity does not solve shortages. It prompts us to act. Make a plan with neighbors, share a ride for pickups, drop off excess from your pantry. Practical kindness always outpaces viral fury and keeps communities standing in truth. The digital cage. You can feel the chill crawling closer, not from the weather, but from the invisible walls tightening around daily life. When people talk about digital ID, it sounds like a sci-fi plot until you realize the blueprint already exists. Utah has started rolling out its pilot version, packaged with the friendly language of innovation and security. But buried beneath the buzzwords lies the quiet architecture of control, a system that decides when you can buy, what you can buy, and how much of it you're allowed. The same companies that already manage 90% of your spending, the big box titans, the payment processors, the loyalty apps are converging with government systems to map every transaction like a heartbeat on a monitor. Every swipe, every cart, every calorie will one day need permission. Imagine standing at a checkout, your bag full of groceries when the screen flashes red. Access denied. You exceeded your meat quota. Or trying to fill your gas tank and seeing travel limit reached. It sounds dystopian because it is. The language is already rehearsed: carbon credit, resource fairness, fraud prevention. Each phrase is a polite mask for surveillance. In the United Kingdom, prototype systems are being tested on school children. Digital tokens to track meals, attendance, even energy consumption. They call it progress. It looks a lot like probation. The difference between freedom and permission is just one software update. And that's the point critics keep shouting before they are drowned out by sponsored optimism. The more data you surrender, the less independence you keep. The big stores, the tech giants, and the policymakers all insist it's for your convenience. That's how every lock starts disguised as a helping hand. Once spending becomes programmable, dissent becomes expensive. Speak against the system and suddenly your access is paused. Question a policy and your groceries wait behind a temporary verification hold. The scary part isn't that it's theoretical, it's that the machinery is being built right now, funded by the very purchases we make every day. That's why people like the homesteader from Riverside keep saying, stop funding them. He's not selling paranoia, he's pointing at the receipts. Every dollar spent through a digital portal strengthens the infrastructure designed to monitor it. The antidote isn't complicated. Buy direct, support family businesses, trade locally, pay cash when you can. Every transaction outside their system weakens the chain they're forging around you. It's not about rejecting technology, it's about refusing dependency. Because the end game of a digital ID world isn't efficiency, it's obedience. Picture the future as a gated economy. Compliant citizens swipe seamlessly while the flagged and the non-conforming wait outside, watching their access blink denied. That future doesn't arrive overnight. It creeps in through convenience, one app update at a time. The message is clear. Fight back before the cage finishes closing. The bars won't clang shut, they'll hum, quietly, softly, like a password you no longer control. The identity trap. They said it would make life easier. You control your identity, the officials promise, smiling from behind podiums and PowerPoints. But what they really mean is, you'll control it until someone else decides you don't. Utah's new digital ID program isn't a rumor anymore. It's signed, sealed, and ready for rollout, branded as innovation and cloaked in safety. Behind it stands Christopher Bramwell, the state's chief privacy officer, preaching empowerment like a sermon. You should control your digital identity, he says. But control in the digital age is a slippery illusion. The same system that verifies you can also silence you. The same key that opens your door can lock it. The promise sounds innocent. No more forgotten passwords, no more impersonation scams, one ID for everything: your taxes, travel, even your grocery discount card. But all utopias start with efficiency, and all surveillance starts with good intentions. The system stores your verified digital self in a state-endorsed wallet, one credential to rule them all. They assure citizens that it won't track usage and that it's secure by design. Yet anyone who's lived through a data breach knows that secure is a marketing word, not a guarantee. Once a centralized identity exists, it becomes a target, not a tool. Hack one vault and millions of lives are cracked open. Lawmakers eager to look modern passed Senate Bill 260 to grant every citizen the right to digital identity, conveniently omitting that once everything moves online, the right to opt out dissolves in practice. Senator Kirk Cullimore, the bill's sponsor, says digitalization is inevitable. Everything is digital now, he insists. That's the quiet part said out loud. When inevitability replaces consent, democracy becomes design. They're not asking if you want it, they're assuming you'll adapt. Just like every app that updated overnight while you were asleep, the sales pitch grows louder as artificial intelligence advances. Digital ID will protect you, streamline life, keep you safe from deep fakes. But technology has a habit of devouring its creators' promises. Today it's voluntary. Tomorrow it's required to renew your license, buy tickets, maybe even enter public buildings. Once systems taste power, they don't surrender it, they standardize it. Every credential becomes a leash disguised as convenience. And when every transaction, movement, or medical visit ties to one profile, freedom no longer needs to be revoked. It just times out quietly when your access expires. That's why some people are fighting back the only way they know how: education. online groups host weekly Zoom meetings titled, How to Say No to Digital ID. They're not hackers, they're teachers, mothers, retirees, ex-IT workers trying to sound the alarm before the door locks from the outside. We've got to shift the collective consciousness, one woman pleads. When we know the truth, we can't be controlled. She's not preaching fear, she's calling for awareness. Because once the cage looks like convenience, it's already too late to resist it. The question isn't whether digital ID will arrive, it's how quietly we'll surrender to it. And when the day comes that your access flashes, denied not because you forgot your password, but because your profile didn't pass the algorithm's mood check, you'll remember this moment. You'll remember the smiling promise that you control your identity. And you'll realize too late, you traded your privacy for convenience, and convenience never gives refunds. The last choice. Technology is a double-edged tool polished on one side, poisoned on the other. It promises comfort, speed, and order, but in the wrong hands, it mutates into a leash made of light. The same circuit that powers your coffee maker can also map your movements. That's the paradox humming beneath modern life. How do we enjoy the benefits without surrendering the blueprint of our freedom? The man in the video leans toward his camera and says what millions think but rarely say aloud. We've got to stop funding this machine. He's right. Every dollar spent inside the system oils the gears that might one day grind us down. His call isn't abstract, it's practical. Vote with your dollars, he says. Support the people whose values match your own. That means farmers who still know the soil by name, the local markets that still smell like earth instead of sanitizer. Every purchase is a ballot, every receipt a record of loyalty. Stop sending your paychecks to the Waltons and Bezoses, the puppet masters tightening every string until one corporate umbrella shades the whole sky. Because under that single shadow comes a single rule book, and soon enough, to buy groceries, to pay rent, to renew insurance, you'll have to scan your digital tag and prove obedience. Miss a payment, question the system, and you might find your access revoked with the same cold efficiency as a declined card. He lists the mundane things, the toothpaste, the soap, the snacks for kids, the vitamins, the beef. These are the invisible chains, the daily purchases that build the digital fortress brick by brick. Switch where you buy, he urges. Switch before it's too late. It's a reminder that revolutions don't always roar. Sometimes they whisper through shopping carts. Supporting small businesses isn't nostalgia, it's resistance. Every local purchase weakens the empire by an inch. Every cash exchange starves the data harvesters who live off our transactions like ticks on a sleeping giant. And yet, his voice isn't bitter, it's tired but hopeful. He's seen how states squeeze small businesses dry, how taxes balloon while independence shrinks. They're pushing us out, he says, and it's getting way out of control. He isn't fear-mongering, he's documenting collapse in real time. His plea ends not with doom, but with persistence. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. Because the power isn't gone, it's just buried under convenience. The last choice we still own is where our money goes. And until that choice is gone, the system hasn't won. Before they lock every choice behind a screen, stay awake, stay aware, subscribe now, and keep truth in your own hands.
Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our daily content. Now feel free to check out some of the newest and best videos currently shown on your screen. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.